Eric Bakker, thanks for coming back. We're going to talk now about the foods that actually contain salicylate levels. So in order to do that, what am I doing? I'm trying to pull up my, here it is, my salicylate sensitivity sheet, which I'm going to give you guys. I've got a nice little handout. So you get a piece of paper here with a few columns on it. Fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, and sweets. I mean, you can probably find way more on the internet, but this is a good little cheat sheet that I put together for my patients a long time ago, probably like 15 or 20 years ago. I put this sheet together. It explains a bit about what salicylates are and about the foods. So if we look at the fruits, for example, negligible are bananas and pears, especially if you peel a pear. I mean, it's just literally got really no issues there. And if we look at the vegetables, we've got bamboo shoots. I'll just read it out for you. We've got cabbage, celery, lettuce, peeled potatoes, Swedes, dried beans. I should put them under the veggies. Brown lentils, red lentils, and rice. So they're not really veggies, but I put them under that category. If we look at the nuts, poppy seeds are negligible and cashews are quite low. We go to sweets. We've got carob, cocoa is not really high in salicylate. But if we look at sweets and go down, boom, mint, whoa, sky high. So very high. Honey, licorice, peppermints, any confectionery containing mint is especially high in salicylate. So be careful. Now I've got note: artificial colorings, flavorings, and preservatives are all salicylate based. Please read all labels carefully. So unless you're like me and you just basically cook stuff that that's alive, that doesn't come actually out of a can or something, but eat real food. Just be very careful. So if we go back to the fruits, and we've got the moderate, I'll read it out to you: lemon, mango, persimmon, red apple, rhubarb, tree tomatoes, kiwi fruits, and fresh figs. They're sort of like moderate amounts. If we go to fruits, high fruits, avocado, unfortunately. Grapefruit, green apple, Granny Smith apple, nectarine. If we go really high on the fruits, it's usually the berries, okay? Apricots especially high, blackberry, blackcurrant, blueberry, boysenberry, loganberry, pineapple, plum, prune, raisin, raspberries, red currants, strawberries are very high as well. So I had an interesting case years ago of a lady who had all kinds of stomach problems, and I just couldn't understand for the life of me what the hell it was. She wasn't taking aspirin. What she was eating every day was one punnet of strawberries. And the strawberries were the problem with her. It was just overload. When she stopped them, the tummy pain went away. Would have been a salicylate problem. So that's how sometimes you can get caught out. Remember I said in a previous video, if you love something and you eat lots and lots of it, that can often cause the problem. Okay? So you can't eat too much of one thing. Guys are especially notorious for doing this, for eating like a whole packet of cookies or a whole pound of Brazil nuts, or something like that. So almonds are very high as well. And when we talked about the nuts, water chestnuts and almonds are very high. The moderate are peanut butter and peanuts, Brazil nuts, hazelnuts, macadamia nuts, pecans, pine nuts. These are all sort of on the moderate. So I don't want you to listen to this and then take all those foods out of your diet. If you have got a salicylate problem, check your medications. See if there are any pharmaceutical medications or toothpastes or anything that could contain salicylic acid in it. Okay, it could be in a muscle relaxing cream you're putting on your body. It could be on some type of a drug that you're swallowing for pain relief that contains aspirin. Many medications contain aspirin, so please make sure that you've checked the labels of medication before you start taking a green apple out of your diet, because it's only got 1-2 milligrams in there. You could be putting an aspirin medication in there, could be taking 100 milligrams. So think carefully what you're doing with your diet. Okay. So if we go back to the nuts, moderate, as I said, many nuts are moderate. The low nut really is cashews and poppy seeds, but not many people eat poppy seeds, I take it. So let's go back to the vegetables and look at the really high on the vegetables. We'll start inverse. Capsicums, okay, so bell peppers, tomatoes and tomato products are also very high. Green olives, zucchinis or courgettes are also high. Champignons or small mushrooms are also high. If we go to high category in general, broad beans, watercress, eggplant, all right? Cucumber also, if we go to the moderate, asparagus, baby squash, beetroot, broccoli, cauliflower. So the thing I want you to focus on in this list you're going to get is the very high, especially, okay? That's what you want to look at. And we'll just read that out again. Most of the berries, all right, tomatoes, capsicums, for example, and also pickled stuff like radishes, gherkins. Gherkins are very high. And we look at the mints in the sweets. And if we look at almonds, are very high in terms of the nuts. So that's really the low-hanging fruit. Well, the high acylic acid kind of stuff, you know what I mean? That's the stuff that you need to look at first, is the highest category. If you're consuming something every day in that highest category, you need to take that out if you suspect a problem. And if you're not taking lots of aspirin medication. Because as I've mentioned, there's no point taking aspirin every day, at 500 to 600 milligrams if you're going to, start taking out tomatoes and taking this out thinking that's going to reduce your inflammation. It's not. So if you are taking aspirin and you've got a problem reading this, I would talk to your doctor, and for me, I'd be switching to an omega-3 fish oil. Definitely. Thanks for tuning in.